today for his furious denunciations of the term Ms. It is Miss or Mrs., and there is no Ms., and we must abolish Ms. Vote for me for president. He was also known for vehemently demanding that the Department of Education should be abolished. He said this was something so important that American political leaders should be prepared to give their lives. They should be prepared to die in order to abolish the Department of Education. That's what became of Howard Phillips after his stint at the Office of Economic Opportunity. But you know, the right really hated that agency. And this is also an important part of the story. Years later, they did succeed in killing that agency off. But they did it legally. They had Congress vote to get rid of it. And it was still controversial, and people still wanted to keep it, but they had a vote in Congress and got rid of it. Congress had created it and funded it, so the only entity that can legally get rid of it is Congress. You know, Nixon had said that's how he wanted to do it, but he got impatient and decided he should just be able to kill it on his own say-so, and so he tried to do that by sending in this henchman in there to declare it closed. But it was plainly illegal for him to do it that way. Had he just waited for Congress, he might have won the argument in Congress, got it shut down legally. Instead, the courts stopped him, and it took years and years and years for them to get it shut down the right way. Ryan LaRochelle is a political scientist at the University of Maine. He recently wrote about this incident for Time magazine. He said, quote, "So far, Trump and Musk have followed Nixon's playbook and ignored his lack of success." So, I mean, in some ways, we have been here before, and so have they. But the law is still the law from 50 years ago and from hundreds of years ago and now. I mean, look at this. This is from the New York Times in the middle of this scandal in April 1973. Quote, "Unless and until Congress decides otherwise, it is the duty of the president and his subordinates to administer every program in good faith and in accord with the legislated purposes. That principle is so fundamental that it is familiar to every student of constitutional law." That principle is so fundamental. Last night, just after we got off the air, a federal judge in Washington ordered the immediate reinstatement of the foreign aid that was in place when Trump took office because Congress had appropriated it, because that's how we make decisions about what is funded in this country. By court order last night, he ordered that foreign aid must be restarted late last night. Earlier yesterday, a different federal judge told the Trump administration that they are also not allowed to put the whole staff of USAID on leave, even though they really want to. USAID is funded by congressional appropriations, and Congress makes those decisions in our system of government. And so a federal judge blocked that mass firing at USAID yesterday as well. Then today, in a similar order, the Consumer Financial Protection Agency, the staff of that agency has brought the Trump administration to court. Now the Trump administration has been court-ordered to stop its plans to destroy data, terminate employees, or take the agency's budget. These guys so hate that this is the law, but this is the law. And at least for now, we still have law. If there is a case to be made to shut down an agency, tell Congress you want them to shut it down. And then have them debate it and vote on it and pass a bill to shut down that agency. That's how you can do it legally. Why are you so afraid of even trying to do it legally? Your party controls both houses of Congress. What, you don't think they'll do what you want? You don't think you have sway over the Republican Party? You can make them do that? The two things that are different since the Nixon debacle along these same lines 50 years ago. Two things that are different are, number one, at this time they are openly saying that they don't think they need to obey the courts. In some instances, they are de facto defying the courts already by not complying with court orders that have come in against them already, court orders telling them to reverse some of what they've done. Now, they're not conceding that they're in defiance of the court. They're still showing up and defending their actions. So at this point, they haven't raced all the way to the end of the game and just declared a dictatorship. But they are, openly musing about how they think they ought to and how it's within their rights, including Vice President J.D. Vance putting his musings on this subject in print in the last few days. So that's different. Them just entertaining the idea that maybe we won't have law anymore. But the second way that things are different is by the tech gloss on what they're doing. And I say it's a gloss because they're really trying to make us think of what they're doing in these terms. You might have seen Elon Musk making a speech at a big international conference this week in which he wore a t-shirt that said tech support. It's not a flattering look, but he thought it was hilarious. He tried to say this t-shirt was a very funny joke, that he's White House tech support. You know, for our generation of Howard Phillipses, our generation of the let's kill the US government and we don't care if it's legal or not, our guys have claimed the right to do what they're doing, not just because of their wild-eyed zeal against the US government and the US system of governing. They've claimed the right to do this. They've sort of claimed that their legitimacy comes from their tech savvy because they're so good with computers. So we're all supposed to, get out of their way, or we're supposed to be intimidated or at least confused by what exactly they're doing because, wow, it's such a high level, right? It's so high tech. They're so tech savvy, so competent, so good at what they're doing. How could we mere mortals possibly understand? 404 Media today reported that on the website for Doge, I don't know, Doge, I don't know, whatever we're supposed to call it, on their own website that Elon Musk's agency-destroying group has set up for themselves. It appears that random members of the public have been able to upload joke categories and database entries onto that website that show up as if they are official Doge.gov data. And people can add random stuff to this website, not because there's like a post your public comment here section, but because apparently when Doge designed this website for itself, they didn't know how, or they forgot to make the website secure so other people couldn't post random stuff on it. 404 Media reporting today that people were posting things like, quote, these experts left their database open, ruh-roh, and quote, this is a joke of a .gov site. Remember, these are our high-tech overlords. At the Huffington Post today, they've got comment from an unnamed employee of the Defense Intelligence Agency pointing out that among the data that Elon Musk's little group has posted online on their apparently totally insecure, half-baked website is classified information about the National Reconnaissance Office, which is the federal agency that designs, builds, and maintains U.S. intelligence satellites. Quote, Doge just posted secret, no foreign, meaning nobody who's not a U.S. national is supposed to see it, no foreign info on their website. Currently, people are scrambling to check if their info has been accessed. This comes on the heels of Elon Musk telling reporters in the Oval Office that we should all be shocked. The American people should be shocked by the scandalous discovery he and his high-tech team made while apparently pawing through Social Security records and data in that part of the government's guts. Because he's allowed to do that, I guess. He said the scandal that he and his team had uncovered in Social Security data is that there are people in the Social Security database who are listed as being 150 years old. And we don't know exactly what Mr. Musk was talking about because he's seeing stuff that I think he's not allowed to see, and neither are we. But today, people started gingerly asking if perhaps Mr. Musk just didn't know that in an older version of the programming language that is used by the Social Security Administration, when you didn't have a date to enter in a particular field, it would code it as 150 years ago. It would code it as 1875. The year 1875 is essentially an error message to let you know that there isn't a real date in that record, and so you should treat that as an error and find out what went wrong. Does he know that? Or does he really think those are records for 150-year-old people?
Oh my God.
Does he know what he's looking at when he's falling through your Social Security records?
Oh my.
Remember, it's their technical prowess and know-how that's supposed to impress us and make us think this is somehow different than when a far-right, power-mad, doomed president tried to do this exact same thing in 1970.
Woo! Soul Train.
We're supposed to be intimidated here.
Jesus.
That measles outbreak we told you about last night in West Texas, it has now doubled in size as of today. The CDC also has fired as many as 1,300 people today. The intelligence staff at the Department of Energy sent its staff an urgent warning about how to respond to Elon Musk's team seeking access to sensitive classified materials about nuclear weapons. And at the National Nuclear Security Administration today, which is responsible for keeping our nukes safe, they fired a significant portion of their staff today, hundreds of staff members. Yesterday, we got word that Trump and Musk's little squad of genius web developers and software engineers, the folks who may have accidentally posted the classified information on their website and left open some sort of back door so that random members of the public can post stuff on it. That genius squad has now reportedly been sent into the IRS. So now that group is in there with your tax information. While tonight we get word that at the IRS, just ahead of tax filing season, they are about to fire thousands, maybe 9,000 people who actually work there to handle your taxes. The combination of the smash and grab by the supposedly high-tech team and the mass firing of people who actually do know what they're doing means real material harm is being done to our country. And it will take a long time to repair it when we finally get to start. But there's nothing high-tech about what they are doing. And there's nothing new about their intentions. There's also nothing new about the old, very foundational law that made this kind of operation illegal 50 years ago and makes it equally illegal now. More to come tonight. Stay with us.